This is NVDA. Here are your price targets for Monday. We ended the day at $113.06, up 0.69%. To the north side from where we are takes us to VWAP, and that is in the blue line at 113.42. Above that, at another level of resistance, 114.79, 116.93, and at another level of resistance and a potential take profit area, 118.89. To the south side, back at the middle of the trend and the baseline, 110.77, 106.73, 104.64, and at another level of support and another potential buy-in area, 102.56. Looking left, this gap closed already to the downside. I will clean up my chart. That gap, Command Z there to reset, opened up on Tuesday there, it looks like, the 24th of May, give or take, and it touched to the downside on July 25th. So this gap, this one right here, is no longer a threat to our account to the south side. There are other threats, just not this one. And all of these gaps to the downside, I have not cleaned up my chart. So all of these gaps touched. So that one's done. Let me move this to the 15-minute, see if you can see that better. This one, 106.48, 109.87, and then this gap, 109.98, delete, 110. We have been going south here, as you can see, still in a downward channel, even on the 15. And the next target, so let me clean this up. When I draw out my gaps, I have no idea when it's going to touch. It could be a day, it could be a week, it could be a month, it could be a year, it could be years. But when it does happen, I'll clean it up and delete the price target, because looking in the big picture, you can just tell that all the gaps, when I have no prices attached to it, that means it is filled and done. So the next one I am targeting will be at $94.96. And let me flip this back to the 5. Option R. So we could technically touch it maybe the middle of the week if we continue to go down. But obviously we hit support, we hit resistance for a bounce back down to support, and we could eventually start to go sideways, but right now still going downward. And to the north side, we have this gap still in play. Oh my goodness. To the upside at 122.25, and then this gap right here at 126.15, but we are moving farther away from this gap closure as of right now. That is a look at NVIDIA. Oh, well, let me just tell you what we look like on the daily. And my chart does get wonky because you're going between different time frames and the indicator has changed thanks to TradingView. I don't like it, but what are you going to do? So we are at 113.06. I know it's hard to see this. I'll move this out of the way too. So we are right here at the middle of the trend and the baseline. So I'm going to anticipate a bounce on the daily, or maybe we could go down some more and then bounce off of this area again, the support area. But to the north side takes us to 136.29. And then this gap has to fill, and then this gap. But again, we are not there, not in the channel, not in the zone, not even close. And back to the 5 minute. And see how that changed my price that I marked out. This one. See how it should be right here, and it got moved to over there. That's what happens when you move between the different time frames. So let me fix this so I don't forget to. And tap on this to move it there. Now the next one I want to go over is at the top of the leaderboard of the 234 stocks I'm tracking within Vanguard's Total Stock Market Index Fund. So we are at 127.16. To the north side, let me fix that. 131.02, 136.49, 142.30. I should have bought this when I saw it in the 90s because I use 3M products. I'm a believer of tracking things that you buy, you own, you trade, and that way you're inclined to see what is happening. And since I use the stuff, I like to track it. So VWAP takes us down to 122.79. It will act as support. So will this line, 119.95. This gap begins to the south side at roughly 112.64, 109.01. This gap lines up with -3 standard deviations, another level of support, potential buy-in area, 103.37, and 97.95. So we are inching to this line, which is a clear level of resistance. So I will anticipate a little bit of a pullback as people take their profits and they run, they will lock in and they will leave. Because I have not looked at this in a very long time, let me just show you the daily. And it looks like maybe the last time I looked at it for myself was at 94.31. It was tanking and it was getting sued. And I believe they're still in the lawsuit, but things are not copacetic just yet. But we are at resistance on the daily. And look at this. So on the daily, I will anticipate a crack to the south side soon. But can it go up long term? Yeah, it'll crack and then ride back up again. The 1 year price target is now 145. Again, we're at 127. Again, that is a long-term projection. So I've marked out the RSI on the monthly, so I don't have to keep switching back and forth. So on the monthly, this is the high it's ever gotten. And can it go higher? Sure, but there's always a resting period. And to the south side, the next standard deviation down would be 117.72. Let's go back to the 5. Wait, let me just see if there's anything else. Nah, that's okay. Now let's just go back to the 5. And I'm going to go to this ticker. DXCM. It's been a while since I looked at it. I smell my soup I'm making right now. It smells so yummy. I'm hungry. So we're at $64. We tanked so hard on this. It's so sad. And that's what happens. They can take this down, give you bad news, and you don't set a stop loss. You are SOL. And that's why it's important. Even on the stocks that you have mass conviction, you don't know what's going on. You don't know the things that are happening behind the scenes unless you're Nancy Pelosi and family and a lawmaker. Yeah, that's right. Isn't that funny? Yep. You got to track their stocks. All right, to the north side on the 5 takes us to roughly 70.92, 96.32. This gap closes to the upside at 107.79 where we tanked. It dropped down. It's going to take a while to get there. And to the upside from there, 122.23. 44.61, 31.34, and 18.42. So that's the 5 minute. And let me just show you quickly because I think my soup is burning, so I got to go. What's going on here? Look at this. We are definitely at support on the daily. So I'm interested in buying this now for the long term. But if you look at this on the monthly, this is the monthly I've drawn out. It's gone way down to here. Yeah, I'm going to have to seriously look at this one. That's the lowest it's gone. And now we're not at 30 yet. So on the monthly, there's potential for it to crack some more to the downside. But again, this is the lowest point on the monthly. So look at this. We at one point went up to 128 when I looked at it. Obviously it went to 142 for the 52-week high, but over here it went to 165. So something to keep in mind if you're trolling, like I like to troll, but I like to troll on the monthly and get myself a better deal because this is a $25 billion company and the CEO came out with some news that made a mention of not going to hit the targets, but they reported 1.004 billion. The estimate on the street was 1.037 billion. And so that was a surprise of 32 million. Not good. And then the president made a statement. You can Google that or check here, click on that for what he said. But what goes up must come down, and that's what I look for in a quality stock. But do your fundamentals. This is just technical analysis, and I do this for fun. And make sure you look at this on the different time frames because it will give you different buy and sell signals. All right, that's a look at NVDA, DXCM, and what was triple M there? 3M on the 5 minute time frame. Have a great trading week.